It's all fun for about 18 months, isn't it? Because you know that your brain has been hijacked by the chemicals. Chemicals of feeling like they just get you. It's so exciting. Yes, I can't stop thinking about them all the time. Oh, we feel so connected. This is great. You're on a high. This is like salty crackers, isn't it, for the brain? A bit like the way cheese also hits that same center. Anyway, we're going down a path I'm not intending to. We're talking about relationships today. If you find yourself in the 1 to 2 year relationship turnover situation, then just blame chemicals in your brain. Seriously. There's science about this somewhere. Basically, once you've had your 18-month to 2-year mark of your chemical addiction having crashed out, you have two options. Either push through it, continue with the relationship, and find the actual depth of so much more to explore by pursuing a long-term relationship, or move on and get another high from somebody else. I will caveat my whole video by saying this is from my personal experience, also my observations, and just watching the slow train wrecks of people in relationships around me. There are patterns that do come up in our human behavior, so take everything with a grain of, oh my gosh. There have been, a ton of things I've learned from having had a long-term relationship, but we'll stick to the 5 that stand out the most at this point in time. I might make another video later on with 15,000 other points. Anyway, firstly, you cannot change somebody. There was this phrase I read somewhere. Gosh, I wish I could give credit. Maybe I'll find out after I've edited this video. Men go into a relationship hoping that women don't change, and women go into a relationship hoping that men do. And it's just the mistakes are made right across if somebody is showing up with a relaxed, softer look to their physical form and they tell you, I'm really not interested in exercise, please don't take them on as a project. I'm going to make them work out. I'm going to tweak them. They're going to be so awesome. No, don't. As frustrating as it is, you just have to let that stuff go. If people aren't into something, let them not be into something. I did a previous video very similar to this topic about just let things fall apart if you want to watch it. It's in a similar vein. It is such a battle, either thinking someone's not going to change, which inevitably we all do. I mean, how many things we thought were important when we're younger, and then we get older and we're like, what the heck was that? Those lists. When I'm 19, I'm going to write 100 things of the person I want to attract into my life. It's like, I just want somebody who can at least pay half the rent. My standards are pretty low, honestly. It's also not fair to the other person that you say you accept them, but in the back of your mind, you're secretly hoping that they will change. Who loves being told what to do? I think we've all got authority complexes from growing up, but it feels like that when somebody's hoping that you're going to be different from who you are and how you want to live your life. So just let people be what they're going to be. If somebody's going to leave their underwear laying around the house and they tell you that ahead of time, I don't give a toss about washing, that's a gift. You want people to be honest so that you can just move on from somebody that's not for you. It's so much better when we can just talk about stuff and be okay with, okay, that's your thing, that's not for me, thank you very much, and move on. I had a personal frustrating thing, and it took years to figure this out, is I love it when somebody has a vision for their life. When they have some direction. I'm not saying it has to be the perfect and the right one, but at least have something that the person is aiming for. If somebody's just meandering along in life oh yeah, the kumbaya approach, and I don't know, I have learned that is not for me. I do not like it. And I tried for a very long time to encourage the person, maybe try for this. I almost wrote out a whole life plan. It's because I was wanting and needing something else than what they were offering. And it wasn't fair to both of us, and it was exhausting. So that is definitely something you learn with time, is it's okay to just let somebody go if they're not for you and to try to change them. It's the trash and treasure thing. Somebody's trash is somebody's treasure. That's not really great to talk about humans like trash, but you get the analogy. Discuss, don't argue. How you have arguments as a couple is fundamental to the relationship. How you overcome challenges, things that trigger you, things that disappoint you, things that anger you. How you come together and talk about these things respectfully and calmly. This is gold. You have to risk putting yourself out there by telling the truth and not letting your ego take over and getting defensive when somebody also communicates to you. It can be very easy when you're triggered to get upset and either stonewall, shut down, or start attacking out of anger, or bottling it up is a classic one. I know I've often been somebody who suppresses their emotions because it can be difficult to say to somebody, you know what? I'm afraid that if I say something, you'll reject me, and I don't want you to reject me, so I'd rather just not say anything, and I'll just sit here and basically stew like an apple, like a French apple dessert. I might make that later on, getting myself hungry talking about this stuff. Or maybe just from sheer survival, you've learned how to identify other people's needs very quickly and to meet those needs because taking care of somebody else was always needed, and it meant that you had a place in their life. And by being needed, it meant that you weren't going to be abandoned. So there's this whole underlying thing of often what we're arguing about is not really what we're arguing about. There's something else, usually fear and insecurity, shame, guilt, feeling like if I say the truth, the other person is going to run. And that can underline so much of how we go about having arguments, how we go about dealing with things as a couple. Because things can get quite heated when you're raising sensitive subjects and both people are feeling very raw and very emotional. And one thing that helps diffuse it are a couple of questions or slight mind shifts that I've found helpful are, what is it that we really need? So you're bringing in the we, it's a team effort. You're signaling to the other person that let's work together against something else, not against each other. We're not the enemies here. How can we help each other navigate this? Again, we're in this, and let's focus on how we can help each other. Instead of how can I help myself not feel this discomfort and uncomfortable, how can we navigate this together? And it diffuses it. It creates a bit of lightness and a bit of space to be able to have a conversation when you're pissed off. I just play video games and I get really pissed off and I'm swearing like a trooper. It's terrible. I have video proof because I didn't believe that things came out my mouth that were absolutely not polite when I get angry, but only in a game, not in real life. It's enough to let you know, even in a game, when you get emotional and you get heated, sometimes you might say things you later on regret. So knowing that about yourself as well is when I get angry, I just need to calm down, communicate that with the other person. If I'm angry, I will go quiet, but I need to go quiet so that I have time to think because I want to be able to communicate in a way that's loving and is kind to you. So can you please remember to allow me some space when I am angry? That's what my silence means, but I will come back around and communicate with you. It's things like that. You learn how to have a conversation with each other when times are difficult. Nobody is entitled to a relationship. Both people have to choose each other every single day. Sometimes it's very easy to take somebody else in your life for granted. This can be friends, family members, particularly family, or the person that you choose to be your life partner, or the person that you're dating, or the person that you're married to. It is such a gift that somebody is literally spending time. They're spending their life with you. They can never get that back. It is a gift. It's wonderful to realize that we can be so grateful that we are a complete pain in the butt to somebody else, and yet they wake up every day and still choose to be with us. And nobody's above being a pain in the butt. I think even Eckhart Tolle, as chilled out and zen as he is, I watched a clip once where he talked about being annoying to his flatmate, because he's just the way he is. We are all walking pains in the butt. And once we realize that, is this the kind of pain in the butt that I can overcome and I can live with, and realize I too am also a pain in the butt, and that somebody still stays with you is like, that is a blessing. It's just amazing that somebody still actually chooses to be with me when I've lost my shite over a teaspoon left of milk in the fridge, but you couldn't be bothered going out to the shops and getting another bottle. All the stuff, all the stupid stuff we argue about, but yet somebody still stays with you because they can look past those things and into the bigger picture in life. So you don't owe having a relationship with someone either, and they don't owe having a relationship with you. You choose each other every single day. A partner in your life is not meant to fulfill all the roles. This is something which I learned over the years out of frustration and to an extent being a little unreasonable in my demands, because I'm an intellectual type and I was in a relationship where they were not interested in any topics, really, the depth of topics that I had to speak about. They were, a simple person. Like they go to work, they wanted to watch the sport. I start having conversations about, apparently Tesla was right with our brains being able to connect. Do you know neuroscience? You know that we actually have another brain in our heart? And you cannot expect your partner to be everything. Esther Perel speaks about this where we have this expectation, often in modern relationships, where we expect somebody to be our best friend, our confidant, our lover, our caretaker, our desires and our fantasy, and fulfill, and maybe if you have children, the best mother. And then also we want somebody who's, predictable for stability, but not so predictable because we need variety, and it's just this endless list of the demands placed on a person. Just surviving life is stressful. Just feeding ourselves, my goodness. What I realize it comes down to is learning what your must-haves are, what your needs are, which requires investigation. What do you truly need? Because most of the stuff are just nice to haves. Yes, if they happen to be this look or this height or this eye color, all the fluffy stuff that truly doesn't matter. But what really matters? What are the deal breakers? What are things that if that line is crossed, I'm out of here? And actually follow through on that, not just put up with it and send the wrong message that it's acceptable behavior. And what are your green lights? What are the things you must have? And everything else can be negotiated. And having those conversations as early on as possible so that you're free to let somebody go. You don't hold somebody on hoping they change. You're spending their life, you're spending your life. And you're going to be also having those conversations throughout the relationship as well. This is not a one done deal where we had that chat. Remember, like 15 years ago, we had that chat about our needs. Like, it's going to change over your life. What mattered when you were younger, what mattered when you got together is going to be completely different in 5 years' time, 10 years' time. I can't even imagine like 50 years' time. Like, you're probably just going to be happy to wake up with somebody. I don't know. Maybe that's scraping the bottom of the barrel. I shouldn't put such a low level expectation out there. But, so for example, you might say, my needs are, I need to feel loved, I need to feel desired, I need to feel respected, and I need to feel like we're going somewhere, which actually leads me into the fifth point. There is a third person in the relationship. And by third person, I mean the vision for the both of you to work towards. So there's you, there's them, and there's also, what are you building together? Because by working towards something, it takes the pressure and the often criticism away from both of you and onto, let's achieve this together as a team. And you build the skills and you have a goal. And when you achieve those little milestones along the way towards that goal, that's hard. Like, I'm going to be respectful. To have a mission together and to be winning along the way, overcoming and dealing with so much crap, because life is just going to be full of colorful episodes of crap, vomit, rainbow. So you have to look after yourself. You still have to be an independent person, have your own interests, have friends outside just your partner. And referring back to that earlier point that your partner can't be your everything in your bubble. It's unhealthy, it's unsustainable, it puts such a burden and an unrealistic expectation on the relationship. So having friends, having connections, having interests with other people outside of your relationship. So there's your growth and then there's your partner's growth. You want to make sure that you're supporting them. Are they having their needs met? It makes a relationship stronger when you're not living in the foxhole together all the time. Like, you just want to kill each other sometimes. Everyone experienced some version of that, didn't they, during my Sharona? And then there's the vision of where you're heading. It could be something like, we want to run a family business. We want to keep the family business going. What does that look like? What's our 5-year plan? How are we going to do this together? Who has the strengths in which areas? And including the home life, including the work life. Maybe there's finances somebody's stronger in. And working out and figuring out how you can both contribute and cover all bases towards a common goal. It's just really important to have that. Because temporarily in the early stages, it's fun. The goal is just have fun and, all of those things that encompasses. But then it gets to a point where that, the chemical crash from the brain dies off, and then what else? If there's been no foundation of friendship or no foundation of setting a goal and working towards something, then it's very fragile. If nobody's driving the boat, where is it going? Those are my 5 lessons that I've learned from having been in a long-term relationship. I hope you've got something out of it. Please leave a comment if you have also experienced some ideas, some tips, some knowledge that can be shared out there. Because what are we going to do with our knowledge? We can't take it with us. Because, my gosh, do we all just have to, bear with me as I use a crass phrase, do we all have to pee on the electric fence ourselves to figure stuff out? Or can we help each other out and give each other a heads up and cut the lessons a little shorter? If you like this topic, do let me know. Because I'm thinking of doing a topic about dating and how to figure out whether somebody's really for you. And I don't know whether that will end up being a disaster. Maybe I should do it as a vlog.